Let me talk about something most people don't admit openly. Not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. When you are in your early 20s or mid 20s, you are doing your post graduation, say MBA, or finishing your graduation like engineering or any other degree that you are doing, and you start seeing people around you doing these serious certifications, global certifications like the CFAs and FRMs and PMPs, cloud, data, security, AWS and Azure, and whatever your field calls, the big one, the global one. And you think that would add real value to my profile as well. Then the next thought hits you like a bill you didn't budget for. It's too expensive for me. It's too expensive. And most people stop right there. They stop right there. I'm going to say this very clearly now. The biggest career mistake is not choosing the wrong certification. The biggest mistake is saying, I will do it later, and never coming back to it. Because later feels responsible at 22. It sounds mature. It sounds practical. But for a lot of people, it becomes a quiet, permanent decision. Here's what I saw when I was doing my MBA in finance. And I'm talking from my experience and talking with a lot of people over the years. People around me were preparing for global certifications like CFA and FRM because those were in finance. These were not casual weekend courses that study for some weekend and it's done. They were multi-level, multi-year commitments. Those are a little difficult, definitely. And the cost was not just the exam fee, right? The fees were in dollars, so it's always tough because I was paying in rupees at the time. The books were also expensive to prepare. The coaching, the classes were not cheap. Even mock exams and question banks added up. It was not cheap at all. And there was a second pressure, actually nobody talks about. What if I fail? What if I fail? Because failing doesn't just hurt the ego and your confidence. It just feels like you burned the money, the hard-earned money you burned. So most people do one of the two things. They quit before they start, or they keep their dream alive with thinking, I will do all of this after I get a job. Now listen carefully. The money problem is real. I'm not pretending it isn't, but the timing problem is much, much bigger. Early in your career, you have the time, the energy, the focus. You can study odd hours, you can study late hours, extra hours, wake up early in the morning, you can say no to a lot of distractions, you can grind for a reason and so many things. But what you don't have is money. Later in your career, what happens? I have been late in my career, so I'm sharing this with you. You might have money. We have money. But you have less mental peace now, more stress, more responsibilities, less patience for studying and less tolerance for failing an exam and restarting. It's tough. I have been in this situation later in the career. That's why I'm trying to share this with you, because that trade-off is brutal. Absolutely brutal, because most people only understand it after they cross that phase. I have talked to many professionals who say the same thing in different words. I wanted to do that certification. I couldn't afford it back then. Now I can afford it, but I just can't study like that anymore. That regret is very common and it is preventable. You can talk to anyone who is later in their career and you will try to get the same feel from them. Definitely you should talk with them. Now let me make this useful without turning this into kind of the guru advice and all that, right? I just want to give it a little practical feel. First, stop treating expensive as a final answer. Expensive is a constraint, not a verdict. Many major certifications offer financial assistance, the scholarships, reduced fees. Not always, not for everyone, but often enough that you should check what we are going to lose by just checking, right? Most people don't even apply for those because they assume they won't qualify. That assumption costs careers, right? Just go for it, just apply and see. Probably you may get it if you get that scholarship or financial assistance and all that. Number two, you don't need a perfect plan to begin. You just need a real plan, even if it is like slow, right? If a certification has multiple levels, let's say multi-level certification, you don't pay for your entire future on day one. You take one step at a time. Level 1, part 1, then you build from there. Like I had CFA, 3 levels. I did first, then I had to pay for second. So we have time in between to pay for it. So go step by step. Number 3, if you are still studying or just starting work, you can prepare before you pay. This is a simple mindset shift, right? You study first, you build capability, then you can pay and sit for the exam when you are ready. That reduces the fear of wasting money, right? Because you have prepared well and you have to pay once you have that money. But you have time to prepare. Don't waste that time. Number 4, use your job, even if the salary is low, as a funding engine here. Your first job will not feel rich. That's normal, like everybody knows. But even small monthly savings create momentum. If you are able to save something, it will create momentum. And that momentum would definitely beat the motivation. Now I want to address a dangerous fantasy that kills the progress. The fantasy is, one day I will be settled and then I will study because I will be able to pay because I am settled, I have time and money and everything. That day rarely comes because life doesn't get calmer, it gets fuller. I have been through the journey. I can tell you exactly. You talk with a lot of other people as well who have done something in their careers in future. So if you are serious about a certification that aligns with your long-term career, what you are looking for, do not wait for a perfect calm. Start while it's messy. Start while it's inconvenient, and that's how it actually gets done. Okay, let me add one honest line with a small thing that I want to talk about. Nobody wakes up on a random Tuesday and says, today feels like a great day to study 400 pages after work. If you are waiting to feel that excitement, you will wait forever and forever. I've seen a lot of people doing that. That will never come that day. Now, very important, no certification guarantees a job. No certification guarantees a promotion. Anyone promising certainty is selling you something. But certifications can do multiple things. 3 real things I want to talk about. 1, they give you structured depth. You stop being interested in a topic and you become competent. Number 2, they create signaling. In this competitive market, signaling matters, right? A difficult credential tells people you can commit and finish. That really matters in the market, when it is brutal market, in the competitive market. Number 3, they create confidence for you. That's not a fake confidence. The confidence that comes from earning something hard. That's why I say go for that one certification, the global certification, than going, small certifications. Okay, let me add one more angle that is ignored by people many times. Some certifications expire and require renewals. That means the cost is not one time, but it is a commitment. So before you start, ask yourself, am I willing to maintain this credential for that certification for years, or am I only chasing the badge right now? Because you have to pay for renewing and everything. That is going to cost again, right? That is costly affair. Here's a practical way to decide. Step 1, identify the career door you want opened. Risk and investments, program management, data, cloud, security, product, whatever you are looking for, you have to identify. That is the first step you have to do. Number 2 is to pick the credential that is actually respected for that door. The one hiring managers recognize without explanation that this is what I have. That is going to help you, right? Number 3, check the true workload and build a budget with a retake buffer. If you can't afford a retake buffer, you will study with panic, and that panic kills performance. Like what if I fail, right? That will create more performance. Number 4 step is make a schedule that fits the real life. Small, consistent blocks beats weekend heroism. Like I will do everything on the weekend, do small bunches throughout the week. Now if you are thinking, sir, should I do a certification or should I just focus on getting a job first? The answer is, if you don't have a job, your first priority is a job, right? Because income funds the options. But if you can prepare in parallel so you can move fast when you are ready, that is a good option, right? A certification is not your identity. It's not your identity. A lot of people are going to get certifications. It is a tool. Use it to build capability, credibility, and options. Then let your work speak louder than the certificate, right? Now I want to pull in something more in this discussion. If you have done a tough certification with limited money early in your career, right? Can you tell that to the people what worked for you? Because if you can share that in the comments, will be great. Because if you have even skipped one and later regretted it, say that too in the comments. Because one honest comment regarding any of this can save someone 2 years of the hesitation. So I would